So snoring affected my life before the snooze treatment in a whole life embracing way. It affected every aspect of my sleeping life, to the degree that although it didn't concern me personally too much, it affected absolutely everybody around me. And this would go way back to when I first remember the snoring issues, around 8 or 9 years old, and we go on camping holidays, and clearly the whole family would be together. That's mum, dad and 5 brothers and sisters in total, and I would keep everybody awake at inopportune moments, which just became incredibly tiresome. This carried on through early childhood, when I'd be missed out for school sleepovers with my friends, because again I'd keep their whole households awake. And again, it wasn't something that bothered me, but I started to realise that I had a tag that followed me around, and that does affect you. There's only so much you can take before you start to understand there's something different about you. And then later on, when I was first involved with girls, you'd get so far into a relationship and start to pull back, because you knew inevitably that you were going to have to spend the night sleeping. And I did everything in my power to avoid this, because I knew it was going to cause upset. So you'd enter into a relationship apologetically, saying everything's great, but, and there was always this but that would hang over me. Later on in life, married life, divorce, new partners, and again there was always this, I've got something to tell you. And it invariably came down to, it's fine, it doesn't matter, but it did, and it always affected those around me. And now it's completely transformed the way I am with people. I feel more confident, I feel more relaxed, I feel very happy, and the device comes everywhere with me. It's in my car at the moment, and it's changed me for the better. It looked odd, it felt odd, I had a lot of saliva build up, but very, very quickly I got used to this and how to manage it, and it became normal and natural to use it. So I don't know whether I should or not, but I use it when I commute to work. It's a 20-minute journey to work, it's a 20-minute session, in the mouth it goes as I set off for work, pull up and it's done. Similarly, I can use it on the way home, or more commonly I'll sit in bed, read the book, have the device, my partner doesn't even notice that I'm using it, and it's just fitted into my life as if you're brushing your teeth, combing your hair, putting your shoes on. It genuinely makes no difference to my lifestyle whatsoever now. It's just an easy part and an easy thing to use. So the real life improvements I'm seeing from having stopped, or at least reduced my snoring to a massive degree, are I don't feel so tired. I don't wake up thinking, wow, where did that night go? I'm waking up thinking, God, that was a deep sleep, and questioning why I had such a deep sleep. And I keep putting it to the bottom of the list, and forgetting that this tiny device has made such a massive difference to me. I don't feel crotchety in the morning, my concentration level has increased, I feel more relaxed, I feel as if I've got 10 times more energy, and for the first time in many, many decades, I genuinely look forward to going to sleep and getting into bed and snuggling down, knowing that I'm going to wake up feeling the way most people probably feel, and I haven't felt that way for so long. So for me, saying it's a life changer is rather a glib statement, but it's really changed my life and that of those people around me as well. So using the snooze device has not only changed things for me, but also my partner as well. She's very tolerant and very relaxed about my snoring, but at the same time it does affect her sleep pattern. So since I've started using the device, instead of her having to roll me over constantly throughout the night to stop the snoring, she now wakes up and like, you didn't snore at all. Now whether I didn't or whether she didn't notice it, the effect is that not only do I get a transformed night's sleep, she does as well. And that is worth its weight in gold. If I could have had that several years ago when we first got together, it would have made for a far less traumatic relationship. And I think we'd be far further forwards into the relaxed nature that people strive for in the early days of meeting someone new. So from a point of view of changing other people's lives, yeah, it's quite dramatic as well. The usability of the Snoozil device for me, it was really simple. Amy met up with me, she demonstrated it to me, explained how the app was going to work, and sent me on my way with the opportunity to contact her if I needed any support. I got home, I looked the device over, I understood how the app worked, and that was it. It's so easy. You take the device, you charge it up, you check it's paired up with the app, you put it in the mouth for 20 minutes, and I haven't looked back once. It is so easy for anybody to use. It's not going to get in the way of any part of your life. It just slots straight in and becomes quite natural. So continuing using the Snoozil device, absolutely, without any question. As I've said, I take it with me wherever I go because it's so easy. And now that my snoring is under control, it's in check, I think it's the best way to put it, I use the device a couple of times a week. If I'm particularly stressed at work, I know it's going to become noticeable for my partner more than myself, so I'll use the device a couple of days in a row. When I've just got a straight run and there's no stress in my life, then I'll give it a miss for a few days. But to be quite honest, because it became so integral to my life, I use it more than I don't, and I don't see any issue in doing that. It's just such a simple device to have with you at all times. So I started to notice a difference with the Snoozil device within the first week. I woke up feeling more refreshed, and I wasn't quite certain whether it was it or change in diet or change in cleaning regime at home or whatever it was, but very quickly attributed it directly to the Snoozil device. But most importantly, we were keeping a sleep log at the time, and we could very clearly see, my partner and I, that there was a significant difference that occurred rapidly within that first week. It plateaued, but it plateaued at a very, very high level, and it hasn't gone back from there. So I'm at the top of the peaks now, and I'm going along like a mountain range of success to success to success without dropping back down into that valley of despair. And it's just a lovely place to be. So for me now, it's really just using as a top up every few days just to keep me right at those happy peaks.
I have had, I'd had instances where I'd gone on holiday with friends, and again, I'm surrounded by light sleepers, so it can obviously take its toll on other people. I myself am quite a deep sleeper, so I'm not necessarily aware of it myself, but it's more so the effect it was having on other people, my friends, as I said, when we went on holiday, to the point where we had to actually book separate rooms in the end later on down the line because it had gotten really bad. Yeah, my partner's a really, really light sleeper, and more so it was affecting him, and it was really putting pressure on our relationship as well, because although we're very happy in other aspects of the relationship, staying over was becoming quite difficult, especially with work and everything. You wanted to have a nice, solid night's sleep. So it was just, had to find something to try and make some reduction, and there's not a lot on the market available. And the things that I had tried didn't necessarily work. So yeah, I was seeking another solution, something more permanent. I've tried the nasal strips. I'd also tried the sprays. I tried different pillows, the anti-snoring pillows, pretty much everything that's out there. Honestly, no improvements at all, so I was just looking for something more permanent. It looked nice. It's actually quite aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, it was explained to me that it works similar to one of those abs machines in the sense that it stimulates the muscles. So I was quite eager to try it out for the first time and see how it felt. I wasn't entirely sure what we were going to experience, but it was nice. It's a good little device, yeah. Because it's really any time in the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be just before you go to sleep or in the morning. You can work it. I worked it around my own schedule sometimes. Most of the time I would use it just before bed, just because I'm at home while I'm sending out emails, and it was just very, very easy after the initial period of getting used to it. It was very easy. You just had it in a specific place and then you just take it out and use it. I think after 2 weeks, after about 2 weeks, my partner did say that he was having less nights where he was waking up from my snoring. So I would say 2 weeks in probably. Found that I was having better night's sleep than before. With better sleep, obviously you are more refreshed in the morning, so you do tend to start your day better with a good night's sleep. So yeah, I guess they go hand in hand. Yeah, absolutely. I think when you snore, you get to a point of desperation and there's not really that much out there for you. They're all almost placebo tools to just make you think that you're gonna feel better, but something that actually you can see a difference, you can feel the difference. Even in using it on day one, you can't use a high level because you really feel the impact, but by the end of the trial I was on the highest setting, in the higher settings, so you could definitely see a difference, and I think that gives you confidence in the fact that the device is doing something. So out of everything else that I've used on the market, this is the one that actually gives me confidence that it's working.
There were three main problems before I sought any advice. I think the major problem was that sharing bed with my wife was an issue. She's quite a light sleeper, so anytime I went into deep sleep or I started snoring, she would wake up, and then she couldn't go back to sleep because I kept snoring. So we often had to sleep apart if I was snoring deeply. So that was one major issue. The second issue, I think, which made things worse, was that if we went out or I went out and I was having fair number of business meetings, if I had had a drink, I always snored a lot more. It was obvious to her that I snored a lot more. So that was second problem which actually bothered her. And thirdly, on occasions I had actually sort of woken up myself because I was snoring so loudly. Okay, I'm usually technically quite good, so I think it was quite easy to put the device together. I downloaded the app and started using it. I was a bit nervous using it at first. I set it up quite easily. There wasn't any problem. It took me, I think, 1 or 2 attempts over 1 or 2 days in order to get the idea exactly what was going to happen. Never been used to this idea of having the tongue so suddenly being stimulated and contracting and relaxing. So it was quite an odd experience, I would say. And the intensity was something I played around with because I had no idea how much I should actually increase the intensity to. Worked, I think, would be the word. It reduced the snoring significantly, and the wife commented, "You are certainly snoring less." And so sleeping and sharing the bed was back on the scene. I think it took a good couple of weeks before it became apparent that it was working very well. and it was a 6-week trial. I think by the end of the 6 weeks, it was working extremely well. I stopped using it and haven't used it again since I stopped using it. I used it for the full 6 weeks. I think the fact, well, two lifestyle benefits. One, I think sharing a bed is always very nice. If you have a partner, you have a wife, and you have a partner you like, it's nice that you are sharing a bed. So I think that's a very good benefit that we've had. I'm a much better person to be around with. I mean, I didn't believe that snoring was actually such a awful problem. But I think that what's happened is that when you do share a bed with a person you have as a partner, I think it helps you to bond together a lot more. So we are a lot closer than we used to, because at least we can talk about things when you're sharing a bed, and when you wake up you can share things then. So I think that it's brought us a lot closer together than we had been before. Otherwise we were drifting apart a bit, not in any major way, but it was actually affecting the I suppose the relationship to some extent, and that is why we decided to sort of seek professional advice. I think the device itself, if I was to promote it, I would say that it is easy to use. It's easy to connect to the phone, and I suppose if the manufacturers can give a backup warranty that if it's not working, if there's a helpline, then person could ring up and say, look, I'm having this problem, what should I do? So going back to it, I mean, I think it was easy to use and easy to charge up and easy to connect, and as long as the app works very well. The app, I understand, is being looked at, so I don't need to sort of really go into it. But it was good to, I suppose, see what encouraged me about the app was to sort of see the recording of the sleep pattern itself, how much deep sleep I had or whatever. You know, it was good to see the improvement. There was, at the beginning, I thought it was working well, but perhaps I was being a bit deluded, because it showed that I was having a lot of snoring or deep sleep, and then broken sleep as well. But things had improved as I went along.
Well, my life before Snoozil was affected by a quite loud snoring. That was basically my concern was basically in regards to my health and how loud snoring could affect my partner. I was concerned for my health. Snoring affected very much my sleep. I used to wake up in the morning with sore throat, headache, quite a lot. Quite very bad symptoms related to a poor sleep. So I really wanted to get this problem solved in order to get back to a good sleep. I saw this little thing which I've been told was a new device aimed at improving people's sleep. So small, and I was like, is it gonna work? I was very confident. Maybe quite skeptical, because I tried many things in the past, so I didn't really know what to expect from it. Well, using Snoozil, it's very easy. I think the best thing is that you can use it through your phone, through the app. It's really easy to use. I tried a few times, you know, different moments on my day, just to have an idea of how to fit it in my routine. It's just 20 minutes, you always find 20 minutes to use Snoozil, either in the morning before going to work, or as I used to do before going to bed, you know, just lie down quietly, watch a movie, or read a book with your Snoozil in your mouth. I think a couple of weeks. I remember that I was on holiday when I started using it, on a 2-week holiday, and at the end of my trip, I have been told that my snoring was a bit better. I think that the main improvement I noted is in relation to my private life and personal life. Affecting other people's sleep, it's really bad, and I'm quite glad this is now almost solved. No headache in the morning, which is great. I'm not a morning person, so I can't say I'm really happy in the morning, but I'm not that grumpy, and I think it's a part of it. It's thanks to the quality of my sleep now. I definitely recommend it. It's easy to use. I got results, and yeah, don't give up. You can find a solution. I tried hard many different things, and it's quite relieving when you finally find a solution. Don't give up.
So my boyfriend obviously says that I snore. I do occasionally wake myself up. I don't have sleep apnea, but like my snoring can wake me up. And my family have heard me snore. Even if I fall asleep on the couch, I'll snore. So I'm quite frustrated that I snore because I've trained myself to sleep on my side, which is very hard for me. I'm not overweight, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, so I just don't understand why I'm snoring like an old man. So I just wanted to try, and I've tried so many other solutions that absolutely did nothing or made it worse. So I wanted to try something new, basically. I tried like a thing that you put in your mouth that's meant to adjust your tongue, but like you can't sleep with it. Nose spray, nose strips, things that stretch open your nose, and then it kind of stays like that for a few hours. I can't remember what. Oh, like throat foam, which is disgusting. Lots. I thought it was clever because I think that if the cause of snoring is that the muscle's like collapsing, then obviously stimulating the muscle is going to strengthen it. So I did kind of get the science behind it and kind of bought into that. And I knew it was like the first thing like it on the market, so I was interested to try it. I think initially it's very weird because it's like an air belt on your tongue, so it's just a very weird sensation. But after using it like 2 or 3 times, it's just normal. And I think that initially it was on a very low level, and then I could really see that in the months I used it, I could turn it higher and higher and higher. Most of the time while I'm watching TV or doing laundry or anything, it's so easy to have it in your mouth and have your phone near you. So I thought that was the easiest part of it. I also like that you don't have to sleep with it, because I hate sleeping with things up my nose and things in my mouth, like you just don't sleep properly. So I like that it was like only 20 minutes during the day and I can sleep normally. I think so, because I mean the studies say there's been a 50% reduction, and I do think I'm snoring less. And I've got my app that I use, and there's a definite reduction. So it gives you like a snore scale, and that's definitely a lot less. So I'd rather depend on that than my boyfriend's account, because he's obviously frustrated and angry whenever I snore. Yeah, well, I want to continue to use it and see, because I think maybe longer term it will have more benefits.